Hi there, my name is Charisma and you're watching Gardens and Graveyards. Today we are in our back garden in a theme garden, which, as you know, in the fall we planted a whole bunch of bulbs that were supposed to be all black and white, and that I purchased the bulk of my bulbs from a company I've never worked with before, and well, the flowers are beautiful, don't get me wrong. The quality of the bulbs are great, but the description that the website had for the bulbs, not so much. So as you know, this was supposed to be the theme of black and white, so I was going with really dark purple, black and white flowers, or creamy white flowers. And you may notice that we're very Eastery and spring-like in here. And so those yellow daffodils were supposed to be white. And that grouping of very pastel, pinkish purple and white tulips is fairly accurate, but there was supposed to be a super dark tulip in there as well. It may come up late, but right now it doesn't look very Night in Paris. It looks like Easter basket. The purple tulips in the main bed were supposed to be really dark purple tulips, and they had to substitute my tulips for me because they didn't have the ones I ordered, and they assured me that they would be a dark purple. I think they're just purple. And again, that group of daffodils and tulips back there were supposed to be the same as those, which were supposed to be white tulips and a creamy white daffodil. Now, these daffodils do have a little white stripe on them. They're beautiful, just not what the description told me. Anyways, at least the garden is coming along. All the bulbs are up and they're looking great. We are going to plant our summer annuals out now, and I have a few flats back there I'll show you in a minute, but we're planting seedlings and seeds, and again, steering towards the black and white theme, but we'll see if they actually show true. So I'm gonna show them back there.
Yeah, get close.
Quick update too is we showed you putting manure on this rhubarb. It is like 3 times the size it was like 6 weeks ago. Our blueberries are full. Like this is a blueberry bloom. Full of blossoms coming on. All 3 of them are looking fantastic. You can see here the very purple tulips. Alright, so we have seedlings. This is the angel mix, or the poor man's orchid. This is phlox, and it's going to be white with a dark red eye. This is the Celosia. We've shared that with you a few different times. It's going to go out in the garden today. These are the polar bear zinnias, a white zinnia. And then I picked up a couple of petunias. We have a Black Magic, which is just a very dark purple black petunia. And then we have a, this is Midnight Gold, which is a very dark purple fading to black and edged with white double flower. Really beautiful. So we're going to add those in there. And then we're going to have a bunch of seeds. So we're going to do, I'm planting out the white zinnias, but I'm also going to seed white zinnias next to them. So there'll be a succession of blooms. We're going to have these buttercream nasturtiums. We're going to do a second seeding of the bridal veil Nagelia. And let's see what else I have in here. we're going to plant out these Lauren's Dark Grape poppies. And that, it looks like that's it. I also have my diagram out here for reference. So I make sure that the heights of these seeds and seedlings are where I intended them to be. They don't get hidden. All right, so we're just gonna jump into it. So we're gonna start with the Nasturtiums, and basically we're doing Nasturtiums all throughout this garden, so I'm kind of just plucking a few in all the different pots so that by the end of the summer we're just gonna have this over-spilling white buttercream nasturtium craziness. Save those for the other side. Okay. Then, so we'll start with. I almost want to grow a couple of those still inside and let them get a little bit bigger. This. All right, so then we have the Celosia, and I have one of the phlox in this little pack, which is fine because they're all going to go in the same area. The second seeding of Nagelia in the same area as we did the first seeding. Doing the phlox. I should probably mention that all of these seedlings were grown from seed in my kitchen in my seed starting station, and if you want to watch a video on me planting all those seeds and dividing them, I will post those links in the description below. Definitely packing in the flowers here.
Okay.
The petunias, however, I did purchase at a local nursery.
You know, until you started watching Laura, there's no way you would have done this.
I'm actually putting these in at an angle so I can help facilitate the spilling. They'll do that naturally anyways, but since I'm cramming them in there so tightly, they actually fit a little bit better doing it that way. Now these are annuals, and these tulips are going to get moved probably next fall. So, and then these peas are annuals. So really nothing's gonna stay in this container for more than a year. And we have a lily coming up in here too. So by the time these are all done blooming, the lily will be up in here blooming. Okay, so we're all planted up with our summer annuals. I have 2 more seeds that I'm going to be putting out in a couple of weeks, which will be a white cosmos and a black hollyhock. And then we will put out our super petunias for the season, and that will sum it up for this garden, except for our new raised bed that we are developing, and we'll bring you along in that process. But that will be filled with sunflowers in a few weeks. So we'll show you that in another video, but for right now I'm going to flip this around and show you what we planted out for today. So in these back beds I put in angel wing mix, or poor man's orchid. They are really floppy. They're really tall for their very short cells that they were planted in. If I do this next year, I will make sure they're in much deeper containers. They grew really fast inside. And I might have to come back out here and put stakes on them and help them stand upright. But they may just correct themselves, so we'll just see how that rolls. Same with that bed over there. Just planted some angel wing mix. Now in the main bed, I planted the polar bear zinnias in a row. It'll create sort of a nice thick hedge. They get about 8 inches wide by 12 inches tall, maybe even taller. And then I've got some phlox kind of ringing the edge, and they are spillers, so the idea is that they'll come up over the edge of the bed. And then I have a grouping of Celosia, and I'll come back and put in the last few in a couple of weeks after they've gotten a little bit bigger inside. I just want to see if that helps, having them a little bit bigger before they come out. And then I reseeded some Nigella in this area, which we already have a few seedlings coming up from the first seeding. So that should stagger them a little bit as far as their blooms go. And then I've got the petunias in here, and I just went every other one. I have the black magic, and then the double black and white one, whichever one that was, in this pot, and then again in that pot. And like I mentioned before, these pots are super stuffed, but they're just going to be in there for a year, so I'm really not worried about that. There's not going to be some serious overcrowding. And then we put, look, we have one dark Nasturtiums kind of not as dark everywhere as I was expecting. I put several around the edges of this main bed. I put a couple in the small boxes. I put a couple in this container. I put a few in these containers. And then I even put them in a couple of those containers over there. We're just trying to have buttercream nasturtiums everywhere. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.